guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to share with you guys all of the books that I read in the month of August. And in the month of August I managed to read 4 books, but 2 of those books were rereads. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first book that I read in the month of August was The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. This is the 3rd and final book in the Remnant Chronicles, but if you are unfamiliar with the Remnant Chronicles consists of The Kiss of Deception, The Heart of Betrayal, and of course, The Beauty of Darkness. It is a fantasy series following a princess named Leah, and she runs away from her arranged marriage, and the prince that she ditches at the altar runs after her, but so does an assassin from an enemy kingdom. It is such a great series. If you have been on my channel for a while, then you know how much I am in love with this series. It is by far one of my favorite series of all time, and I absolutely love the 3rd book. I love the direction that Mary E. Pearson went, and I would highly recommend this series to everyone. Alright, and then the second book that I read in the month of August was one of my rereads, and I read The Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series. The 5th book in the series is actually coming out in just a few days, which is The Empire of Storms. It's coming out on September 6th, and I have not read Queen of Shadows, which is the last book in the series that was released. It's been such a long time since I read this book. I read it last year, I believe I read it on October of last year, so I ended up forgetting a lot of details about this book, so I wanted to read this book before I read The Queen of Shadows, before Empire Storm comes out, so that way I am all caught up with the series. Originally, when I read this book last year, I gave this book 3 stars because I thought this book was very slow. It was a build-up, it was a lot of world building, and while I enjoyed that, I felt like it was unnecessary. I did change my rating, but not a lot. I ended up giving this book now 3.5 stars because I much enjoyed the second time around than I did the first time. And the 3rd book that I read this month was also my 2nd reread, and I reread Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rosh. This is the 2nd book in the Snow Like Ashes series, and I read this book originally in July for Booktubeathon, but I felt like I didn't give this book a fair reading. I felt like I just zoomed through the book. I skipped a lot of pages just to try to get this book done by the time Booktubeathon was done, and I felt like I missed a lot of the story, so I ended up choosing to reread this book, and let me tell you, this book was incredible. I definitely enjoyed reading this book a lot more the 2nd time around because I took my time to read it and I really immersed myself in the story. And let me just say that the ending of this book was just like holy bananas. Let's just say it was shocking. I loved the ending. I loved the spin that Sarah Rosh threw at you, and the 3rd and final book is coming out at the end of this month, and I'm so excited. It is coming out on September 20th, and I cannot wait to get my hands on that book. And then the 4th and final book that I read this past month in August was The Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I don't know how to express how I feel about this book. I had a lot of problems with it, and basically I felt the characterization of this book was so off. I don't understand what happened with the characters in this book. I felt like as soon as Selena turned into Aelin, it's like a completely different person that I'm reading. I felt like Aelin was much less like the heroine that I came to love. I'm sorry, but I did. Don't get me wrong, I still like Aelin. I don't understand why she hates Selena so much, because Selena was such a big part of her life. It contributed to who she is now, and I just don't understand why Aelin hates Selena so much. She found her strength, I felt like, while she was Selena. I don't understand. And also, what was up with Kale? I felt like his character was destroyed in this book. I don't recognize him anymore. He became such a bitter, angry character, and I was just like, what is wrong with Kale? They just became such bitter characters, and I don't like it. And what was up with all of the male testosterone in this book, especially coming from Rowan and Aiden? There was like such an alpha male over possessiveness in this book. It's like Selena slash Aelin, she did just fine taking care of herself up until now, and all of a sudden these 2 male fae come in, and then Selena becomes this helpless little girl. I get that you know, they found their queen and they're afraid to lose her again. I understand that, but Celaena survived up until this point without their help, and there was just no need for this overprotectiveness. There is a difference between being a partner and helping Celaena. Don't even get me started on the fact that Rowan became a love interest. I'm sorry, if you watched my unpopular opinions video, then you know that I don't like Rowan. And the only thing that really saved this book for me was Lysandra and Manon, and the ending. The ending of this book was incredible. I was like stunned. I also really enjoyed the characters of Lysandra. I loved Lysandra in this book. I missed her from the Assassin's Blade. Obviously in the Assassin's Blade we didn't get to see her, like, much of her character as much as we got to see in this book, and I definitely loved the direction that Sarah J Maas went with Lysandra's character in this book. And Manon is, I love Manon. Manon, she's an incredible character. She's a kick-ass character, and I cannot wait to see what happens with her in the last 2 books of this series. Anyway guys, so those are the 4 books that I read this month. I apologize for my huge rant on the Queen of Shadows book, but I felt like I had a lot to say, and I still have a lot to say on this book. I have so many emotions going through it, and I'm sorry if this happens to be one of your favorite books in the series. I personally felt like there was a lot of problems with it. If you guys would like to see a full review on this book, let me know in the comments below, because I am very tempted to make a review video on this book, just letting out my frustrations and my rants about this book in one separate video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys, and keep reading. Bye!